back.
Thank you. I feel like a huge void in my life has been filled.
Well, I hope so. This is it was a huge void without you, so I'm glad you're back.
Was it?
Not that, I mean, don't get me wrong, my co-hosts easily filled in for you and took care of your spot just fine. No, I'm kidding. But thank you very much to Ben Davidson and to Greg Sane for coming in and filling in for you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's super, my life is just so busy that
Sometimes the way you said that was like, sometimes I got a better shit going on.
Yeah,
and,
sometimes I have more important stuff to do, like watch sports.
Hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us.
But I got free tickets. Went to the Minnesota Wild last night, and I got free tickets, so I had to, I had to take advantage.
Well, and really quickly, too, where were you for Thanksgiving week when you missed last show at Moe's as well last week?
I was in Seattle, and I was in Portland. So
nice.
Yeah,
I was just watching Fred Armisen on Comedians in Cars getting coffee, and they're in Portland, and so, all right.
Are they?
And how awesome is it out there?
I saw him. How awesome is it? It's pretty awesome.
Are you familiar with Portland? You go out there a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, will you turn my headphones?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll try to, anyway.
Thanks.
I got... Here. How about that?
Testing. 1,
Better
2.
Now? Better
testing. Now? This isn't testing because we're on air.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, on-air production. Anyway.
I always feel like when we test, I can hear it fine, and then we actually get on, and I can't hear
I blame
myself.
Spreaker. It's Spreaker's fault.
Yeah, okay. It is a lot like Portlandia, though. So if you're a fan of Portlandia, it really... It's like that. Because it's
hipster central, or?
I wouldn't say it's hipster as much as it's just weird. It's like super weird.
And they pride themselves on that, right? Like they're so happy about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Austin. It's like keep Portland weird, keep Austin weird. My sister's been out there for almost 20 years.
Okay.
So I've grown up going out there, and it's a really, really, really cool city. And there's artists and good food and good music like there is here. It's a little less... I was going to say,
can you say, how would you compare the Twin Cities, or maybe you could say there's like a neighborhood that would be like Portland? Or are we very different?
No, we're not very different.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought we were kind of like a Portland Midwest.
Yeah, I mean, Minneapolis is bigger, so it feels a little more cosmopolitan here. Their downtown is smaller, but it's actually used.
Sure.
And so is Seattle. I went to Seattle as well. And Seattle.
So it's actually a little more like St. Paul, maybe.
Kind of.
And I saw the skyline kind of looked like St. Paul, even a little bigger, but.
Yeah, but it's in the bluffs, so it kind of has more of that bluffy on the river feel. And there's lots of bridges, like way more bridges. You're always going under things, and like the bridges have like greens hanging over them because it's always green there. I don't know. It's just a really cool place. I wouldn't mind living there. I don't really want to right now, but at some point, maybe.
Yeah. I've always had kind of a little bit of a fascination. I mean, people like to rag on hipsters and talk about how bad being a hipster is or how bad hipsters are, but they always live in the coolest spots and are doing the coolest shit, honestly.
I mean,
they have the cool beer, they got the cool coffee, they're doing things that I'm into, so I'm not anti-hipster.
They kind of gentrify the fuck out of places. Like Portland is getting super gentrified. Like really gentrified.
What I don't know if I know what gentrified means actually.
It's where minorities or low income people used to be, and they get pushed out.
Oh, like Brooklyn.
Because places become hip and cool.
Yeah.
So it's getting super gentrified, and just like Seattle is as well, there's a lot of homelessness.
Didn't that actually happen in Northeast Minneapolis, kind of too?
Sure.
That used to be, that was actually like a really, really white neighborhood for a while, and then it was a little bit more minority owned, and then it became hipster, and kind of they were driven out again, and now it's this more like white, middle upper class.
Sure.
Huh.
Yeah, and then, minorities, lower income can't afford to live there, and so they get kind of pushed out, and the whole system gets fucked.
Well, speaking of lower income minorities,
that's such a great transition.
I love when a segue at least sort of presents itself.
And liberal hipster white people.
Well, and I guarantee there's a few of those there, too.
There is.
Absolutely.
There totally are.
The 35W gets shut down today. It seems to be... And I actually do think this is a good way of gauging this, and we'll get into this maybe later, too, when we talk a little bit about news on Facebook. But Facebook is a really good way of determining what people care about. right now the top story on just about everybody's news feed is going to be, in Minnesota, in this area at least, is the 35W protest. And everybody's bitching about it, or they're pro it, whatever it may be. I swear that most of the response I'm seeing on Facebook is purely just pissed off. They're more pissed off that they're caught in traffic and everything. Right. And what's funny about that, too, is I've seen people basically saying, like, these people think they're so special, blah, 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 who do they think they are? I can't get home now, my kids, blah, blah, blah. Well, so it's all about you. So you're bitching that they're all about them, but then it's only because of your personal life that you're upset about this, too. So I find the hypocrisy to be all over the place. But what is... Okay, you didn't realize this. We just talked about this when you walked in. That it's not just the protesters of the $15 an hour for fast food workers, but it's also people protesting the non-indictment of the cop in New York for putting the stranglehold on the guy in the video, which most of you, I would assume, have seen. That went viral.
I've been on a plane.
I swear, I don't think I've actually sat and watched it. I have seen clips of it, and I've read the transcript. I just read today exactly everything that he said as he's dying.
Is it bad?
Well, he's like, it starts out, he's like, you guys mess with me all the time. You're not messing with me today. Leave me alone. And it's like the next word out of his mouth is, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And he's got asthma. And I mean, like, the whole thing was set into motion so quickly and so unnecessarily. But again, this guy not indicted. Apparently, you just don't get indicted if you're a cop and you kill people in this country. That seems to be a new fad. But okay, so you didn't get to hear last night's show. I just want to really give you a tiny little glimpse into what we talked about last night, because it ties into all of this. But and then so we have the two different types of protesters that came together on 35W, and they're now marching through Minneapolis. But last night, I had my friend Greg on, who is from Tennessee, who's black, if that matters. He actually wouldn't call himself black. He doesn't believe in black and white. That's a whole different story for a whole different show.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's a very interesting guy. Interesting guy. But his take on it was that this isn't a race thing. And the fact is that more white people get shot by cops by even per capita than blacks.
Okay.
But this whole thing is set up so that we're distracted. This whole Michael Brown thing, and I hadn't really thought about it until last night, but there's plenty of people getting shot by cops every single day. I see news stories every single day of new kid gets shot. But this one happened to be propped into the national media, and his point was that that's on purpose. That there are the people in power, the powers that be, can manipulate us to that point where they will pick the story and say, hey, everybody go pay attention to this. And instead of, and what's funny is a guy that was on the show with us last night too brought up that we just added 4,000 troops to Iraq. And we're doing all these other things. I mean, my buddy likes to talk about all the time, all the bases we have surrounding Iran. We have all this stuff always going on internationally, politically, and then we have these little things at home that are blown into these huge incidents and made to pit people against each other. And so that we have you have one of two choices. You're for Michael Brown or you're for Darren Wilson, and they don't let you get into the gray area. It's just black and white in this way, not race, more just in sides.
Yeah.
And so, do you have a reaction to that? I just wanted to kind of we went an hour on that last night, and it was very intriguing, and I didn't get enough out, but there's a gist.
So your friend doesn't think that there's a race issue in America right now? He thinks that we're post-racial.
No. He thinks that it's a feudal issue. It's more like tribal. It's more about the people at the top manipulating the people at the bottom to make them hate each other. He's saying that the system is set into place so that blacks and whites don't get along, so that white cops shoot black people. Like, it's all set up and it's put into motion on purpose. Was his point.
By who? I mean, by I guess, I'm confused as to
use his words, like the Rockefellers and the people that have always had all the money in this country, the Morgans and the.
But what does that do for them?
That's the part that we don't necessarily we're not privy to. But the easy explanation he would have said was that so that we don't notice things that are going on internationally, so that we don't pay attention to what Obama might be doing, say, over there, instead we're looking internally.
I don't think most people care what's going on over there, though. I think people only focus what's happening here at home. Not only, but mostly focus what's happening right here in their immediate vicinity in the United States. I mean, whether you're liberal or conservative, if you put something about the Iraq War on the front page of the New York Times and you put something about Ferguson on the front page of the New York Times, as Americans, we're immediately going to go to the thing that is happening at home. I don't think people care about the rest of the world. And that's why people didn't really care about Ebola until it came here. When did we really start hearing about Ebola? When it was at home. Even though how many people had it? Two had it in the United States, and all of a sudden it was a national crisis? Because we didn't give two shits that it was happening, over in Africa.
I think you're right. I think that the reason Obama was elected, though, was because of the wars that this country was in. I mean, I
think the economy was most of it, but
economy is always the number one issue in any presidential race. But it definitely was. There was this sentiment in this country of we're done with that crap. Like, get us out of there. There was no purpose in the first place, and now it's just hurting us. Let's get out of there. And I swear to you, this country's not ready and not willing to go and deploy more troops into any country in the Middle East. Like, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to think about it. And they don't. So they actually, maybe plays into your point of it. They almost want the distraction. And I'm not even saying that the Michael Brown thing necessarily is. I'm just telling you what my buddy's point last night. But I'm saying is that if you want to do other things that do affect this country on a different scale than, say, things like the Michael Brown thing, you would want to distract the public. I do think that is definitely how the powers that be, the people that do own the media companies, the people that do have all the money, I do think they have the power and they wield it in that way. And I think that these people that are protesting on 35W have fallen for it.
So the reason why people didn't want the Iraq War anymore is because it wasn't doing anything for us back at home. I think something like if there was an effort like World War II now, if a war broke out like that, where there's obviously someone in direct attack on our home front, right? That someone has come to us and is attacking us and is threatening our allies. It's more directly affecting us than the war in Iraq was. It started to become too removed, and it was dealing with issues that weren't really. I mean, we have terrorism, but since September 11th, nothing had really happened.
But I think we're being told that we have an issue at home right now that we don't. You and I don't have any problems with cops.
That's because we're white. That's the whole issue.
But I would venture a guess that a good high percentage of the black population has no problem with cops either. And I would
totally disagree with
that.
I
don't mean in that they don't look at cops differently. But I'm just saying that in general, like when was the last time a kid was shot in your hometown by a cop unarmed? When was the last time?
That you 2 years ago.
Did that affect you? And what was the reaction of people in Minneapolis? Did they feel like, oh my God, I better not leave my house and be shot by the cops?
No, because the kid who got shot was black, and we're all white.
What? So all the people in Minneapolis are white?
No, but I think it affected black people much more than it affected white people. I went on my merry way, and I think other black people it was much more of a huge issue.
But you're seeing, and I'm not even sure necessarily where we're going with this, but I do find this interesting. So where?
I mean, you're kind of proving my point here, Jason.
And maybe I will. That's okay. I don't really have a huge point here, but what I think here is that, I mean, there's no way that Jon Stewart is covering this if it's not looked at least as bigger than just black and white. If it was just black and white, then black people would just be the ones worried about this, and you'd have like a handful of white people into this.
I think that's grouping all white people into not care. I mean, I care about my black friends. I see my black friends that have to deal with a lot more bullshit than I do, and they tell me that they have to deal with it, and these are like, the most upstanding, quote unquote, as a rich white man would say, thuggish black men that you've ever dealt with, you've ever seen, and then they have to deal with all this crap because they're black, and that makes me care about it. That makes me care. I don't like to live in a country where I still feel like we're not post-racial, and this is proving
don't get me wrong. I understand. I think that racism exists. I think that, but I guess I get where we're coming. Maybe where we're looking at this differently is that I think that the problem, racism is always there. It's just highlighted at certain times. And It's highlighted at certain times, and I never really even thought about it. I don't think to look, what else is going on right now in the world? why are we being distracted by this now? I guess is the question that Greg brought up last night. I just found that interesting. That's an interesting way of looking at it, because it's really easy to just go, we have a police problem and we have a police brutality problem with black people. So that's the obvious stuff.
Right.
And he was taking more of a long view in a take a step back, because that is the easy way of looking at it. And whichever way you come down on it, I mean, I think it's easy. I think it's really easy to say, well, I'm pro-cop and Darren Wilson didn't do anything wrong, and it's also very easy to say that, well, I believe he had his hands up and he was shot completely incorrect. Those are the easy ways of looking at it, and those are the ways that people have been talking about it ad nauseum since it happened. And I just found that as it's just another take, at least, that maybe it's not just about what's going on that's right in front of our face. And I do believe that the media has the power to do that, to trick us into thinking that something's more important than it is, or that just look at this, only that's important, not this.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I think that when it comes down to it, we really do care what's going on here the most.
Speaking of what's going on here, well, we are an Irish bar. I shouldn't be surprised when I see a guy in a kilt.
I think we're about to get a bagpiper. We might have to stop the show because
bring him on.
No, the bagpipers. You know how fucking loud bagpipes are?
Yeah, I do. And
God, there's and I also cry when I hear bagpipes.
I was just about to say they only make me think of funerals.
They always make me cry. But
damn it, you better not play for another 45 minutes. I swear to God, I'm not crying on air.
Oh God, I'm not gonna make it, guys. I'm not gonna make it. Oh shit. Anyway, I think it's really interesting what's happening right now. I think when it comes down to it, I think people are fed up. I think we have two really good cases of issues that black people deal with every single day, and I think there are now two very, very strong examples of this in action and this actually happening and getting the attention it deserves.
And I think that the scariest part about this is the Darren Wilson thing, the Michael Brown thing. It's really easy in a case where there's no video and there's a ton of witnesses and they all some say something and others says another. When you have video and audio,
yeah, it's bad.
There's just no way of you can't pretend that there was no evidence or there was other evidence that we didn't have. I mean, everything was right there in front of our face.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And I'm just gonna say I don't think the Michael Brown case would have happened had he been white. So.
No, I would agree with you.
So that's the root of the issue.
That's the
there
fear.
We are.
The two they're brought against each other, and it's a clash, and it's done on purpose.
I'd say protest all you fucking want.
Okay, no, and that's okay. That's another great.
Protest.
That's another great aspect of this.
Get loud, guys.
A lot of I've seen people bitching about this of the protests, and what's the point? Blah blah blah. What was the point of the protests in Egypt? What was the point of the entire Tunisia? What was the point of the entire Arab Spring?
Right.
Was that not protests?
Right.
Was that not people, blocking streets? And I love only in America do you get the kind of bitching that we do about protests, because I'm sure like in Egypt they're going like, there's a chance I'm going to get hit by a stray bullet.
Sure.
And here we're like, oh, I'm going to get home a half an hour later.
Right? Well,
this is bullshit.
I know, it's insane. And that's... But then you get kind of quote-unquote peaceful protesters that are out of people's way, like the Wall Street protesters, who were just like camped out in parks, and people were like, well, they're not doing anything. What are they doing, just sitting there? And it's like, so what do? You either sit there quietly or you make some noise. And that's what they're doing.
Aren't we talking about them, and aren't all the people that are complaining about them talking about them? What I told my buddy was apathy is their enemy. If you go to social media and start bitching about what the protesters are doing, they won. That's what they want.
Yep.
They want publicity. And so, but do you think? What is the end game for these protesters, and do you see it leading to anything successfully?
I mean, I think what happened with the Civil Rights Act, that was out of protest. That was out of people saying we've had enough. This is unfair, and it garnered enough people where there was actual legal change. And I think, the fast food thing, $15 an hour, I don't know. That's a lot of money. Do I think, oh my God, yes.
We really are getting a big piper.
Here we go.
That's actually kind of perfect, just in the background.
Wow. This is really intense. I feel like I should be giving a really cool speech.
Continue. You have to go with this as your background. And it has to be super dramatic or you suck.
Oh my God. So fight the long fight, protesters. Walk down those streets. Declare your message aloud. And one day, change will happen.
Can you do an Irish accent?
No, I can't.
Because we need a laddie in there or something.
Oh my god.
That is the most.
I feel like we should move on to this sex talk, but with the bagpipes in the background, it's kind of weird.
Oh, that does make it even weirder, doesn't it? Well, yeah, let's do it. This can't get any weirder. I love the way that we talk about the relationships and dating and sex and everything on this show. And there's a bunch of good topics along this line now. So why don't you set that one up?
Oh my God. Okay. So I gotta pull this up on my phone, but essentially this article was all about how you share an aura or an energy with whoever your sexual partners are. Mm-hmm. So therefore, if you're having sex with someone who's depressed, anxious, whatever, you're gonna take on some of that energy. And then if you're having sex with lots of partners, oh, that was so good.
And who haven't cleansed themselves.
Who
that was the way they worded it.
Who haven't cleansed themselves, like meditation or swimming or salt baths, because I definitely take those every day. You're going to take on their negative energy, and you're going to take on too many energies at once, and your life's going to get kind of muddled and whatever. So is this total hippie dippy BS? Kind of, but I also think it's kind of right.
See, I think it goes back to the Bible. And I'll never forget. God, what the hell? Oh, I think we were trying to maybe get a job at KTIS or something. So I was, for some reason, listening to a Christian station, which I would never normally do. And there's a guy giving a sermon, and he was talking about how it talks about one flesh. How when two people bond together, they become one flesh. And he's not talking about marriage, he's talking about sex. And that's, to me, that was just a very, a Bible way of saying what this is saying, where it's you are bonding in more than just a one-time thing. It's you come together as flesh and become one flesh, and this is kind of saying that is happening in your own, in your aura, which is just another
so the more you interact intimately with someone, the deeper the connection, and the more of their aura is intertwined with yours. I mean, yeah, I think this is true in any relationship, whether it's a friendship or, if you hang around with people who are depressed, upset, angry, whatever, their energy is going to reflect on you. And I think it definitely probably gets more complicated if you're sleeping with them.
There's a different type of connection, wouldn't you say, with people that you've slept with?
Yeah, but people I've slept with a lot. The same person.
No, I'm glad that came out that way. You said it in a way where it sounded like it was one person at least. But oh, here we go again. I'm so distracted.
I know, right? It says it doesn't matter if it's OBE. I don't know what OBE is. Astral sex? What the hell is that?
I don't know, but I do need to do a little more research.
Physical
I do
sex
know.
or oral sex. I don't know the difference between astral or physical sex. Okay, maybe it's more like tantric sex. Whatever. Anytime you're intimate with another person or people, you absorb some of their energy and they absorb some of yours. Oh, sure.
And that's where I agree with you, where that's on a friendship level too, or even just right here during the show. We are exchanging energy. I mean, talking is or having a conversation is exchanging energy.
Absolutely. And if you're kind of pissed, then I might get kind of pissed. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But I do think that there is something that is only there with someone you have had sex with, and that it is a weird bond, even if it's once. I think that is always there, and you will. I mean, if you have hold on.
Sometimes it's just awkwardness.
Well, I think that's part of it. But tell me if there's ever a guy. I don't want to get too personal here because it doesn't need to be. But I mean, if you've had sex with a guy once and you run into him 10 years later, well, that for you that would be you're old enough. But that would be. It would be not just awkward, but the first thing you'd think was, I had sex with that guy. Wouldn't it be? It wouldn't just be, oh, hey, there's Ron. It would be, oh, there's a guy I had sex with, Ron.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, and I don't think that if you have a friend, or if you just met somebody once, and you had well, maybe you would. Okay, let me finish what I was going to say, and then because I think I just blew up my own argument. But if you had a conversation about a band, and then you see them 5 years later, is that the first thing you think of? Is that conversation about a band, or do you just go, oh, hey, there's so-and-so? I think you do lean towards just so-and-so.
I think it depends on how deep the conversation was.
Well, right. If it's the greatest... I guess a conversation could be better than sex, honestly, if it's a really deep, crazy conversation.
I mean, there are people I see, months later, however much later, and I don't connect them with anything. I just recognize their face. and I'm like, hey, how do I know you again? So yeah.
And we're not talking about people you've had sex with, right?
Right. So I'm saying,
hey,
but I will probably never forget someone that I had sex with.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think this is a right in a way, at least, where it sticks with you somehow.
Totardly.
Pardon the term. That's a terrible term when it comes to. But no, it does work. And then the other. Well, did you have more that you want to go into on that?
And then it says, you have to like cleanse yourself or cleanse with your partner or whatever.
Do you meditate?
I do yoga every once in a while, and I should probably meditate a lot more than I do because it's actually really helpful for me.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a weird admission. I used to meditate semi-regularly, and I've gotten to a point now where like I almost don't feel like I'm worthy, if that makes any sense.
No.
Like, I don't feel like I'm worthy of that. That's just. Like for some reason I don't know if it's self-hatred or just guilt or something about something I did. I don't know.
I think that means you need to meditate more.
I know, right? I think the answer to my problem is the problem itself. But anyway.
Oh my God, that is funny. I mean, I totally agree with this. I think if I'm with, I mean, I'm always emotionally attached to people, but if I'm gonna sleep with someone more than once, I'm like super in tune with people's emotions and feelings, and whoever my partner is, I'm always very much feeling how they're feeling, and they very much affect me. I'm not good at the people that I intimately care about. I'm not good at separating my own
compartmentalizing.
Yeah, I very much take on their, and this I think some people can distance themselves. I have a really hard time distancing myself from a romantic relationship or a romantic partner. Really hard time. But I feel like if I were to actively do things with them, like whether it's meditation or like these kind of hippie shit, I actually think that would really help.
Yeah.
And it's just like going out and doing something different, like changing a routine, kind of cleansing away being kind of stuck. I think that completely can change a relationship.
So the verdict is it is completely hippie bullshit, and we completely buy into it.
Totally.
So it's not bullshit, but it sounds better that way.
It's kind of bullshit, but it's kind of great.
Before we take our really super quick break to plug our voiceover guy, I want to, since we're on the dating thing, I'm sure this, well, I want to see what you thought of this, because I found it very interesting. But it also made complete sense to me once I read a little bit more of it. But this story that was saying that women who have more male friends have sex more. And it's not to the obvious thought on that to me when I read the headlines. I'm thinking, so she's having sex with all of her friends? And no, the point is that her boyfriend is the boyfriend of a girl who has a lot of guy friends is intimidated by other men. Okay. Therefore, he has to step up his game. So I am Mr. Friendzone. I don't know if I've told you this before, but
no, you haven't.
I have been in many. There have been many times where I'm basically in love with a girl, and she loves me as a friend. And you're always and I'm stuck in the friend zone.
Which is another great topic because some people hate that term. So we can talk about that a different way.
Well, I hate the fucking place.
I know,
but I don't care how we call it.
My feminist friends will tell you that that's a really sexist thing to say. Friend zone. I know.
Holy shit.
I know. My mind was blown. My mind was blown.
We will get into that sometime.
I know.
We have to.
It's nuts.
Especially because I am the king of the friend zone. But so I always looked at that as, this just sucks for both of us. But no, apparently the girls are actually benefiting from me being in love with them and still hanging out with them, even though I should just say fuck it.
And they just get boned later, much more than they would have.
Right. And they get to... Oh my God, I'm so pissed off. So not only do I not get any sex out of those relationships, but they get more because of me.
I think that's
hate
hilarious.
Women so much right now.
Oh my God, I have no idea if this is accurate or not. I have lots of guy friends. I have lots of girlfriends too. I have a lot of guy friends. I don't know.
When you're in a relationship?
I don't know. I'd have to ask.
Well, but no, I'm just saying, like, do you feel any tension where, like, you're saying, I'm going to go hang out with so-and-so, and he's like, ooh, a guy? Really?
None.
But
that
like
could
that's
be
a
just
newer thing, and I mean like the last 20 years. But
I don't know. I mean, my most recent relationship, like, he has lots of girlfriends, and I would never be like, you can't hang out with her.
Well, and there's the catch-22 for me, because I have a bunch of girlfriends, so I could never get mad at a girl for having guy friends, even though I would be jealous.
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of jealousy is okay.
Isn't it almost healthy?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little competition. I would never do it to purposely make someone jealous, like to flaunt it. But, I think it maybe builds a little trust.
Would you, if he deserved it? I mean, I can't even think of the necessary scenario, but would you maybe be like, I can't wait to go with John tonight, fuck you. Like, he's such a better guy. Like, I mean, obviously you can't say that, but maybe, like, put out that vibe in a way just to piss him off?
I hope I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I hope I wouldn't. I mean, maybe I would, but I really hope I wouldn't.
You're just seeing how conniving I pretty much think all women are. So
I can't tell. Like, I can't tell. I don't know.
See,
the person I was with is
so naive, I think.
Well,
I don't think you're all doing it on purpose.
I don't think I mean to do it on purpose. I just can't even tell if it would affect him. I can't even tell. I would have no idea. The people that I've been with, in my most recent relationship, he's not a jealous person, and I wouldn't do that to him. I don't know. I care about him too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. That's my emotional thing. I'm too attached to someone where I'm like, I don't want to make you jealous. Like, I only want you to feel, like, great. Like, I hope you feel just great all the time.
I like how you kind of said that like it's a negative thing, though. Like, you're like, I just can't get out of this rut where I, like, don't care about the other person.
Because I really get emotionally connected to certain people, and it's really hard for me. Not like gross, like
no. What
like obsessive.
As opposed to what? I mean, how are you saying you're more, or you're? It sounds like you think you go a little over a line. What line are you crossing?
Like, I think sometimes if they're depressed, I get depressed. If they're anxious, I get anxious. I take on a lot of problems and energy. So I'm very conscious of, like, making sure that people are not feeling a certain way. I don't want people to feel jealous.
Is that almost selfishly then? Because if they're not happy... No, I'm not saying this in a bad way. Because it almost can be, like, subconsciously. But if I'm your boyfriend and I'm in a bad mood, you'd want to bring me out of that bad mood for my sake, but also for yours, because I'm bringing you down.
Totally.
So that could be a good selfish thing.
Totally. Yeah, sure.
We'll run with it, right?
Thank you. I'm the best girlfriend. Is what it comes down to.
Oh God!
I really
remember I want to say I hate women.
Show.
Remember that part? God. All right, let's give Terry Daniels his due real quick, and maybe when we come back, we won't have this blaring.
I'm kind of into it.
I'm gonna cry a little, and I'm gonna do that.
I'm thinking of my grandma. It's just.
Oh my God!
I had a
Scottish really good friend commit suicide in high school, and that's where I'm going right now. Like I'm in the church.
Are you down there?
I gotta go.
Shit.
Terry, take us away. We'll be back in a couple seconds.
Hi, I'm Terry Daniel, and I've been a voice actor in Minneapolis for over 2 decades now. How often are you getting compliments on your voice? Now is the time to do something about it. If you're interested in getting into voiceovers, please contact me via my website at universalvoicetalent.com.
And thank you, Terry. So much for that 15 seconds buying us the old stopping the bagpipes. But the 15 seconds did buy me enough to get out of my little... I'm out of the church. I'm out of the funeral anymore, so don't worry about it. We're all good. Molly's grabbing her salad real quick. We are live at O'Gara's, tell you that. We are live at O'Gara's, the Alive and Social Network, traveling all over the Twin Cities. We are here tonight. We were at Bergamo's tomorrow night. We've got live band karaoke tomorrow night. Is there any chance you can make it down here tomorrow night?
Actually,
how about I turn your mic on?
Is it on now?
You're on now.
Really? It's so quiet.
Oh my God.
There we go.
I hit it twice. There we go.
Okay, perfect. I don't know. I probably could, yeah. Why, you want to go?
I think I have to eventually make an appearance, and I'm sure it would be fun, so why not? I got to get down here and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And every time I see videos and stuff on the old Facebook, it looks so much fun.
It does.
What do you want to do now? We have so much that we can roll into. I could bitch about how ludicrous $15 an hour is for minimum wage, but that I've done that so many years on the radio that it's honestly just boring to me.
Oh, it's boring. The minimum wage debate has gotten dull.
Well, I mean, you're either the people you're arguing with don't understand economics or don't care, so you can't really have a discussion about it anymore.
That's true.
I mean, either you get that you're going to price the market right out of existence, like there's not going to be any jobs to have, or you're going to raise the prices of the products to such a certain point that there won't be any jobs because they'll go out of business. So people just don't understand there's not just a willy-nilly, like, the government can't just go, hey, everybody, this is what you're going to make. It doesn't, that's just not how economics work.
You're right.
Anyway, sorry.
That is not how economics work.
No,
I
that's...
I have no idea how economics work. Can I just be honest? Sometimes I want to have an opinion about the economy. And, like, I'm pretty liberal, so I'm all for the, whatever you call it. Welfare,
everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Every kind of spending, yeah.
But I'm not an economist, and I'm definitely not in the military. So those are two things I feel like sometimes I'm just not allowed to have an opinion on.
See, okay, and I completely understand your point.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the hell happens in the military. Like, I can maybe have an opinion on, like, Iraq
I've seen Generation Kill. I know what's going on.
I have not seen Generation Kill.
Oh, you should actually see that. Okay. That's HBO. You have HBO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Generation Kill. One of the if anyone out there right now wants to see how it actually went, and I believe this, how it actually went down, the spear heading into Iraq when Bush sent the guys in, Bush W, the latest Iraq invasion, it covers it as even-handedly as I could imagine anything covering, or any type of newspaper or anything. I mean, it's Rolling Stone. It's the guy from Rolling Stone that went in there and was embedded. And my God, I was a total righty when I watched it, and I was not pissed. And now I'm not, and I'm still not pissed about the way they did it. But anyway.
Cool. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's HBO. And that was the other thing, too. I thought HBO, they could go anywhere with this. No, they stayed true. They were good.
That's so cool. I like the Rolling Stone. I think they're a little liberal, but I like their reporting. They've broken some really cool stories in the past, 5-10 years. Well, forever. They've always broken good stories, but as of recent, I think they've broken some really good military stories.
Well, and that's because they actually are doing the on-the-ground real reporting, which is cool.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
And, is there salad over here now, or do you have to look at it?
I don't know where it is.
Oh, maybe they didn't order it yet, and you can wait till the end of the show, and it'll be just perfect for you.
I probably shouldn't be.
I mean, you're gonna
salad.
No blood sugar, but.
No blood sugar. Okay, can we talk about Christmas though? Because
yes.
I don't. So Huffington Post came out with the worst Christmas presents of 2014, and I kind of want all the Christmas presents on that list.
Okay, I'm really glad, and this shows how big of dorks we both are.
We are total losers.
It's literally labeled Christmas Gifts for Weird People, the official 2014 guide, and we dug it. So we are officially the weird people. Okay,
so we have Santa Yoda yard ornaments, so it's just a light up Yoda in a Santa costume, which is awesome.
The coolest thing I've ever seen.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That thing probably costs $150 too. It looks
I don't know, but I'm about to order it. My neighbors are not. Okay, the gun lamp.
Not all of them are cool.
No,
not all of them are cool.
The gun lamp sucks.
There's this actual lamp. The base of it is a gun, and the switch is the trigger, and then the shade. You're shooting into the shade. It's dumb. Wow, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I can speak to this. The Mo-Guard. Do you want to tell them what it is?
A plastic mustache that clips onto your pint glass so that when you take a sip of beer, the froth doesn't get on your mustache.
Did you see any of these in Portland?
No, but I have real old-fashioned. Yeah, my salad's here. Thank you so much. Oh, now I'm gonna have to eat it, you guys. I have real old-fashioned. So those are real cups back from like the early 1900s when everyone had mustaches.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 mustache cups at my house from my grandmother, and built into the ceramic of it is a little guard with 2 holes in it, so that when you sip it, when the men sipped it, it didn't get their mustache dirty.
I have had.
So this is like a modern plastic mustache cup.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it's not new. That makes me hate it less. But
it's not new.
I have had a mustache. I mean, I've had a goatee or a.
You want the spread stick?
I'll eat it in a minute.
Okay.
But I will eat it. I've had a mustache, goatee, beard, all that. So I've had a mustache at least, basically since I was old enough to have one.
Really?
Pretty much. I worked at Ruby Tuesday for a couple years, so they made me shave there. But other than that, no.
Did you have one of those little dirty, didn't fill in, or did yours always fill in?
I always had a full goatee. I never had a tiny little anything. I've never had a tiny little mustache or a tiny little goatee. I've never had just the thing under my chin.
Oh
my God, that is the worst. But I've never, and I drink beer a lot, and I prefer when the bartender knows how to pour a beer and it has a nice little inch of head on top. So I drink beer that should get all over my mustache all of the time. and it's never been a problem. Now, I don't have the mustache that's an inch thick. But I've had it where this beard, it gets pretty thick, and I've never once just been sitting there going, if there was only this stupid, ugly pink thing that I could attach to my pint glass that would protect my mustache. That is the stupidest gift. You should actually give that to a hipster that you want to make fun of for being a hipster. Like, that's what that gift is. Like, that should be a white elephant gift? Isn't that what you call the...
Yeah, white elephant. Don't you just lick the foam off anyway?
Or you just wipe it off your hand, the back of your hand. It's constant.
Hey, just get like a little extra foam.
Yeah, it's just...
Sounds kind of fun. Okay.
That's life.
Okay, there's a fireplace sweater. I mean, that's dumb.
Now, do you see what this is?
What, is it light up?
Well, it's an iPad in his shirt.
Oh, that's dumb.
So this is a sweater that has a little hole for where you would put, and it's surrounded by a fireplace. It's got stockings on the sweater, and then you slide your iPad in there. You bring up like the channel 45, the frickin' the fire pit, and that's your shirt. You're wearing a flickering, moving fireplace on your stomach.
Stupid.
Jesus. Maybe we didn't want these as much. Now I don't hate this one.
Okay, that's cute. It's just one of those knit hats with the beard for the baby.
I don't think I'd ever seen one actually before this. Okay, but I would put that on my nephew. He would throw it off immediately, but.
Old men peeing liquor beverage. I mean, that's stupid, but it's like the little boy in Belgium that pees.
Yeah, and it's for your booze, so
yeah.
It's got a picture of him peeing into a low ball. That's a 0 for me. Like, and I like whiskey, and I'm into the whole. Someday when I have money, I am going to have. The crystal.
When I have money.
Right. I'm gonna have the crystal dishes, on top of the silver like platter that has the thing that you put your alcohol in that you just pull the top off. I don't know what you call that. What is that type of bottle where you just pull the glass? It's got a glass top that slides into it, and that's what you just use that as your. Are you not even picturing?
Pour? Like
is it just a pour? Is that what that's called?
Like that they have at bars that you just insert into the top?
No. I'm not saying like you put into your Captain Morgan bottle. I'm saying you pour the entire bottle of booze. Like you have your 30-year-old aged scotch, and you pour it into this.
But wouldn't that ruin the scotch?
I guess not. I mean, the rich guys in all the TV shows at least do it. But I want that so badly, and so when I saw this stupid ass gift, it just made me think of all the cool things that you could do with that. But yet they're gonna have a guy pissing into your glass.
Dreams of poor Jason.
Oh my God! If you heard all the dreams I have like that.
Okay, guinea pig candy cane headband. I don't have a guinea pig. I'd get it. I'd get my guinea pig that though. I mean, okay, it's a picture of Santa. It's a sweater with Santa peeing. It's dumb.
He's peeing Merry Christmas into the snow.
That
is ridiculously bad.
Funny.
I mean, actually, it's a good ugly sweater. But I don't think it's intended to be bad. I think it's intended to be good.
Okay.
This is the most disgusting thing ever.
Yep.
And it's the worst that it's on an attractive woman.
Yeah, pre-stained underwear, so it's an underwear with like what looks like a poop stain.
Have you seen? I saw.
That's funny.
I've seen the screenshot of it countless times, but there was apparently some chick somewhere twerking and shattered drawers while she was twerking.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video?
Because I know what that looks like.
Is it?
I mean, I can picture it just fine without having to actually see it.
Well, okay. I obviously did not need to see the video either. I haven't seen it, but I didn't need it for that reason either. But I want to think that that's fake. Like, I was hoping that you had seen it and clicked on the link and it brought you to, like, some porn site or something. Like, I don't want that to be real, because how did that video get out? It's not like she was recording it live and it somehow got recorded.
I know.
So, like, why did you let that video slip, you disgusting person?
I don't know.
This is gross, and not very humorous to me.
No.
A shower, basically a soap dispenser you put in your shower that is shaped like a nose, so it looks like you're basically getting snot out of the nose, and that's how you get your soap in the shower. That's disgusting.
Next.
Not even like clever.
Okay, dumb. Skip it.
I have to tell people that this exists though. Pet poop-shaped candy.
I mean, they have like moose turds up north, like the little chocolates you can get or whatever they are.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you said chocolate-covered insects
like
too was supposed to be a thing.
Kitschy.
The twirling spaghetti fork. If you say you need this or want this, I'm done. I'm leaving.
Okay. Move on.
So you don't? All right, good.
Move on.
But literally a fork that does the twirling for you. I mean, I guess if you have a special needs person in your life. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh, We're moving on.
Santa sleigh that fits on a pet's back?
Stupid. Okay, stupid.
Oh, hold on. This one's right up my alley. I didn't realize I didn't actually look at this whole story.
We're taking so much time on these.
I love it. Hip hop chocolates. So they're shaped in the shape of a cassette tape, a turntable,
kind of cute.
Some Adidas. You got a boom box, and then you got like an 808. I mean that's cool. I think that's cool.
I get that because we're from Minnesota. It's a
moose mitt.
Yeah, it's
just a glove.
It's just a glove, like a oven glove.
I can see somebody up north that's a hunter or something. We're not gonna know.
That's stupid.
Ring with. Oh my God! I'm not even telling people what that one was.
And that's hipster. It's a Polaroid, and it looks like the toilet paper comes out of the Polaroid.
That one, I don't know what I think about. Are you anti, pro, or indifferent on that one?
Anti what? I don't know. It's indifferent.
Polaroid toilet dispenser. That's kind of cool. Most people wouldn't even know what that is anymore. Santa tuna fishing inflatable. Whatever. Like, what the hell is that?
These are just decorations. These aren't gifts.
Yeah, that's not a gift.
Okay. Have you ever gotten a really bad Christmas gift before? Like, really bad?
I don't. I mean, I've gotten clothes that I would never wear, but no, I'm trying to think of something where I was just like, really? Like, you really just got me that? I don't think so. Why? Do you have an example in your head?
No, but my cousin we used to do like an exchange, and everyone would draw a person's name in our family, and we had this old, God rest her soul, old crazy aunt that was, like, totally blind and totally deaf, and like would just drink so much. And Lauren got her name one year, and she gave her a bottle of Suave shampoo.
What?
Like a bottle of Suave and like a conditioner, like $3, and like a pair of socks. I was just like, oh man.
See it? I mean.
Oh shit.
I mean, my grandpa used to. He would build stuff for us. He's a handy guy. He was really good, like woodwork and stuff, carpentry. And I mean, I remember one year getting a stool.
Which now I love.
Well, yeah, no, it's great. Now you can use it to sit in front of the fireplace or something. No, it's awful for a 10 or 12-year-old or whatever the hell I was. But it's really well made. Like it is something that now as an adult I can look back and go, wow, that was an exceptional gift. I still have tables from him actually.
You don't appreciate that shit as a kid.
No, you can't.
I couldn't imagine getting dinner plates as a child, and now if I got dinner plates, I'd be so pumped. I get so pumped.
My sister and I lived together. Our aunt gave us her silverware, and it was one of the greatest days of our life.
I know.
It was and she was just like, oh, you guys want this crap? I just got to lay it around.
Like, I know.
Yeah, we would love it.
No, yeah, the
little things in life, the older you get.
I mean, I've had my birthday forgotten and stuff, like 16 candles style. That's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me gift-wise.
Oh, how old were you?
I was like 18.
And who forgot your birthday? Not everyone.
No, my father.
Okay. Wow. We have a lot of things in common. My dad forgot my...
Did he?
20th or something, or it was something around there, 23rd or something.
I love my dad, but he totally forgot, and I called him and I was like, hey, and he was like, how's it going? And I was like, what day is it? And he's like, I don't know, Wednesday. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to you later. And then he felt really bad.
See, my dad had an excuse. He was moving. He was moving from New Jersey to North Carolina, so he had a lot going on. I don't blame him for that. But I'm your firstborn, and it's been the same day every year. I'll never understand how you can forget a birthday. But yeah, that's another little thing that we share. That's nice.
Fathers who forget about us.
Yeah.
We're the bagpipes.
Well, hey, if it weren't for our fathers neglecting us in some way, we wouldn't have the personality types that would want to be fucking doing this job right now.
True.
So we have to thank them
our
in some
voices
ways.
need to be heard.
Yeah, right. If you find me a normal person that does TV, radio, any kind of entertaining, they don't exist. Anybody who's had just nobody's had a perfect upbringing, but the people that that have a really great upbringing, they're somewhat normal in almost every way.
Do you know any like legitly normal people that you look at and you're like, wow, you are 0% fucked up?
Well, not 0%, but I feel like I know a lot of people now, my buddies growing up that are all a couple years older than me that have kids and families and stuff now, they're all completely normal to me.
Like totally stable, like they don't deal with any sort of mental issues?
Not really.
Oh, man.
I mean, they would, I'm sure, because it's their life, they would say, oh, you have no idea. But from the outside looking in, yeah, I think I have some friends that seem, especially compared to me, very normal.
I have a couple of friends that I'm like, wow, I mean, I have my shit together, I think, life-wise. But I definitely would not call myself normal.
No, and again, like I said,
I mean
normal people don't
way.
want to talk into a microphone. They just don't. I mean, that's good, like, because you don't want to sit and listen to normal people either.
I love you guys, but you're all boring.
Well, the listeners are. No, I'm just kidding. We need you as much as you need us. Probably a lot more. All right, so the Christmas gift thing led me down another road as I was doing my prep for this show, and it took me to this a story about the black market internet, and it listed some of the weirdest stuff. And I knew there was a black market internet. I knew that you could go and get like cigarettes in New York for some certain price, and speaking of which, I mean, that's what the guy was killed over. I got to pull this up though quick. Where is it?
It's so sad.
Wow, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. So the thing that struck me, other than the stuff you can get, which is one thing, is 50% off LSD. Hey, Botox. You can just go buy that online.
There's an advertisement playing.
I don't think they can hear it, but
I can hear it in my headphones.
I know. It's weird that we can't play through this to them.
Oh,
but,
it was kind of nice music.
It was actually relaxing. A little different than the old bagpipes. But you can get, so I said, 50% off LSD. There are sites where you can get buy 3, get 1 free on liquid shrooms. You can buy mobile phones that are obviously stolen. You can buy credit cards to buy 2, get 1 free. I saw another one where you can get like a credit card with $4,000 on it for $500.
Oh my god.
But the first thing that struck me was, who trusts this website or whatever these websites are with their credit card information? Like, how do you buy it?
The world of what people trust either on Craigslist or on buying things on sketchy websites, like, where you're getting some weird goods from China, or even better, what I mentioned, those like news sites that are completely randomly run by like bloggers.
Yeah. And they have news in the title, so people call it news.
Title, and it's like, like I said, like conservative news. I kept seeing that Michael Brown one.
Yep.
Where people kept posting about it, and it was all like my very, very, very right-wing conservative friends, but that were like, the autopsy report reveals that he should have been murdered. It was like that type of shit. I'm like, do you believe this? Like, do you really, really believe this? And I'm saying there are some really good scams on Craigslist. I will say that.
Of course.
People are professionals, but I know too many people that I think are very smart that they're like, oh, I lost $500 because I, wired some guy a down payment on an apartment. I'm like, what?
But these websites, they exist, so they're obviously getting enough people, and I get that there's a sucker out there, and there's another one born every minute, and I guarantee that there's a Craigslist ad right now in the Twin Cities area that a guy is going to perpetuate a crime on somebody, and that's his whole point of having the Craigslist site.
Right.
But I don't understand how it gets past because I understand every once in a while a woman has an encounter with a guy that she didn't want, and there's all kinds of things that happen on Craigslist, sure. But they're separate, and they seem to be relatively they're not often. They don't happen often.
But it's within the realm of not fact checking, not a simple Google search. You know what I mean? It's like it's all kind of the same mindset of just too much trust on the internet and not doing simple research to show, hey, this, whatever it is a fraud.
I guess I'm always been a skeptic. I would never, ever.
Absolutely.
I went to get a record player for my ex-girlfriend from a guy in like Burnsville or something, and I brought my pocket knife. Like just to have something, just to make myself feel better. Because I probably wouldn't. I mean, what are you gonna really do with a little knife? But it was because I don't know what's on the other end of this. The guy's trying to sell you 50% off acid, and you think you're going to get it, and you think that they're not going to steal your credit card info? I don't understand how. And what's maybe even weirder is that maybe these places that are selling stolen credit cards actually don't steal from their customers somehow. But that would be a weird ethical deal. Like, we have ethics in this way, but not in this way. Yeah. So so if you're looking for 50% off your acid, or if you're looking for some mushrooms as a gift this year, that is also out there. You can find it.
Don't buy it online. Just become really good friends with your dealer.
That's always the smarter way. Speaking of dealers, we got 5 more minutes. I want to get your take on this. I want to talk big pot real quick, and maybe this will be a bigger topic at some point down the road. But I'm so afraid. I am so afraid. It's an interesting way to start this, but that what's going to happen with marijuana is what you saw happen with alcohol after Prohibition. Now, I did a speech in my speech class actually about beer and about breweries and number of breweries in this country over the last 200 years. And there was a steep decline before you got to Prohibition, and then we had Prohibition, and then the decline kept going even after Prohibition. So what you had was government in bed with big business, and you had the macro brews were the only ones that, because of all the regulation and all of the stuff that was put into place, and because they had the deep pockets anyway, so they're the ones that are putting the money in the politicians' pockets to begin with, they got it set up so that the whole thing was in their favor. It was set up so that if you just want to brew out of your garage, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to have a license to sell it. You're not going to be able to produce enough, blah, 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 blah. That's they've already done that with weed. They've already said, in order to grow weed legally in any of the states that are doing it, you got to go through all these hoops, which means you're going to have to be a big business.
Well, the application fee, remember that?
Yep.
The application fee itself in Minnesota, which doesn't even mean that you're accepted, right? $25,000.
Right. Now, what pot shop is going to be able to come up with that? Now, I know that the whole point is they don't want pot shops, but if it's really going to end up being where we actually become a free country and you are allowed to put substances inside yourself if you'd like to, or smoke them or whatever you want, however you want to put it. If we're going to do that, then I want to be able to do it from every angle, and especially if you're going to do it as this is a medical thing and you're trying to help people. Don't you want competition, and don't you want all types and all shades and all? I mean, I don't want, if alcohol is going to help me with my cancer, I don't want just to have the ability to only get porters. Like, what if there's something that ales can do that porters can't, or whatever? You know what I mean? And I also don't want just this one brand of porter, because maybe there's another brand of porter that's a little better, or maybe that high helps me with my nausea, or maybe that makes me hungry, or whatever it is. Because I've seen the effects firsthand of marijuana with a cancer patient, and it's phenomenal how much it helps them. So I'm not going to find a lot of sympathy anywhere, I don't think. But I think that this is a problem, and I think it's a bad thing that we're setting the stage so that only big corporations basically are going to be able to get into this business instead of making it. I mean, frankly, I think you should be able to grow an ounce in your garden. I mean, or more.
Well, I think you can. I think if it's legal in Washington or Colorado, you can grow your own.
They are allowing that.
Yes.
Okay. I have never seen anything about being able to grow it yourself.
Yeah. If you are buying it, you have to go to obviously a approved dispensary, and the weed at those places is great. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's coming from smaller in Colorado and Washington. I don't know if it's coming from a smaller, organic farm that is owned by larger, as all farms are now. It could still be run by a family, but then it's probably owned by
usually owned by a bigger thing.
So yeah. I don't know what it's like in Colorado and Washington. It'd be interesting to learn.
Are you worried about it at all, like I am, or does it bother you that it's just that?
Well, I think in order to regulate, in order to actually make it happen, which I want it to happen, I want it to become legal. I think in order to make it happen, that's the only route it has to go.
Do you think, though, that
or people will be too scared?
Do you think that we can maybe at some point, though, get to what beer ended up doing? I mean, now there's thousands of breweries.
Sure.
And I would hope that marijuana could figure out a way to do that as well.
Absolutely. I totally think so. I think there's going to be a lot of kind of pop-ups of small shops that people know what they're doing, and they grow a really specific type of marijuana, and it's kind of neat.
There should be niches.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you should be able to have a
and
pot
I think there
niche.
will be. I mean, if you go to a dispensary in Colorado, there are a lot to choose from.
Well, because of all the edibles and all that kind of thing, you mean?
No, there's actually a ton of different strains of pot to choose from. I mean, there's like all these different levels, and then with each level there's like 5 or 6 different types of plants. So.
Well, that's the other reason I want them to compete, because I want them to make it the best they can, because that's what competition does.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, well, we are out of time. Thank you for listening. We will be back Burger Mo's next week. No wild game to deal with next week, so we will not have the huge crowd in there at Burger Mo's, but we will have whoever comes to see us at 6 o'clock, and we will have the Jeff Dubay show Wild Wednesday before that at 5. And we're back here at O'Gara's next week on Thursday. You got anything else you want to add?
Follow us on Twitter, mnpubcast.com.
AliveandSocial.com.
Alive and Social on Twitter.
That'll give you everything.
MK Burke on Twitter. McGov Podcast on Twitter. I'll start tweeting again soon. So.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.